How's it going, guys? Ben here, One Take Thoughts. Figured I'd have a little sit down with you guys, kind of hang out, enjoy the rest of my cigar, and just kind of shoot the breeze and have a conversation. There's been a couple things on my mind lately, a couple of videos in my head that I want to produce, and I'd love to make a video that's all edited and looks really good, but sometimes it's just the easiest to post a video like this. And who knows, maybe a couple of people will be interested. My last video had a few people that seemed to find interest with talking about Donald Trump and the presidency, and so I figured I'd do the same thing, but talk about alcohol. Quite the controversial take, possibly, that I have among Christian groups, or maybe not so much. I really don't know. But yeah, let's get into it. So, alcohol. Some Christians like it, some Christians don't like it. Some Christians believe it's wrong. Some Christians believe it's not a sin to enjoy alcohol to a moderate degree. I kind of fall in that latter category. I turned 21 about 8 months ago, and I've gotten to experience what it's like to drink. My family, my dad doesn't drink, my mom doesn't drink. They don't think it's a sin to drink. But, so I kind of had like a freedom of like just figuring it out there. And to be honest, I can take it or leave it. I'm kind of thankful for that. Hopefully that's always the way I look at it. But it's really one of those things that it was like, it's alright. It's not bad. I'd have a beer or two. I never went past 2 beers. I don't particularly want to go past 2 beers, but it's an alright experience. I think the problem that you find with alcohol is not a moderate, if someone drinks alcohol moderately, and that's not the problem. Typically the problem is people abuse alcohol, and they drink it in excess, on maybe not so much as a regular basis, but when they do drink it, they drink a lot of it, and I can see how that would be a problem. I heard a study that 8% of people that drink alcohol, they get this really high dopamine effect, and it's very enjoyable for them. They get this buzz, and it's just they're energetic and they feel good. I can't say that that was my case as much. I drink a beer or two, and I just feel really tired. It's a calming experience to some degree, but mostly I just feel like I'm not as hyper, I'm not as energetic, and I just feel like laying down and eating some food. I've tried different, I've had some wine. I've stayed away from the hard alcohol. Really don't want to experience what that is like. I feel like that's just it's a little dangerous, because you could drink half a cup of like whiskey, and you could be really buzzed out of your mind. The worst experience that I had with alcohol was I was sampling some wines, and I'd take these little 1-ounce cups, and I had a few of them. I didn't realize how high the alcohol content was, and I didn't get drunk, but I didn't really like the experience. It felt like I wasn't thinking clearly, and I was, I didn't react the way I wanted to, and there wasn't that control. There wasn't as much control as I would like. I felt kind of like it felt like as if I woke up in the middle of the night and was going to get some water, just kind of out of it. But I definitely don't think in my mind that drinking alcohol is a sin. You look in the Bible, and Jesus made water into wine. I believe that in the Last Supper, Jesus had wine for the he had wine that represented his blood. When he did the what's the name of it? The sacrament. When he administered the bread and the wine and said, "Do this in remembrance of me." I believe that was wine. The church I go to, it's a Presbyterian church, and I like the way that they do it. They have on the outer ring a cups full of grape juice, and then in the middle ring they have cups full of wine. I like that. I think that it's traditional, but I by no means think that, oh, if a church doesn't have wine at their supper, then they're wrong. You know, it's like it's kind of, I think, just according to what the church thinks is good. I do think that it's right, or it's nice to have juice on the side for somebody who may not want to drink alcohol. But you know, definitely the problem is, and I've seen it happen to some people, I don't think it's as common as it was. I think instead of alcoholism, a lot of people go to drugs now. The problem is when people really excessively drink alcohol. And I do believe it's a sin to get drunk. I mean, I think that's clear. You know, the Bible talks about the drunkard, and he's not painted in a very nice light. So that's definitely a problem in my eyes. To be honest, I like the cigar more. I think it's nice because it's just, you know, it's an experience. You don't really get a buzz out of it, but you just kind of can sit down, enjoy the scenery, or enjoy a good conversation, and you don't feel tired. And at least I don't feel tired after I'm done with it. I just, you know, I smoke the cigar, toss it, and I'm good. But you know, nonetheless, alcohol has definitely been a destroyer of many lives. So, like, you know, if you're someone who's, because this is really, the conversation is more towards people in my age group, maybe Christians who are looking at alcohol and thinking, you know, do I want to drink alcohol when I turn 21? And I really think that's, you know, it's up to what your conscience tells you. I think that if your conscience allows you to drink a beer or two, then, you know, if that's something that you want to do, you know, I don't see that being a problem. Some people swear by, oh, don't ever drink any type of alcohol. You know, Donald Trump, I respect his decision. He never drank alcohol because of his brother, Fred, who became an alcoholic. And so I definitely respect that decision. And, you know, I know a couple people in my life that they don't drink alcohol because they see it being a problem for them. So, you know, a lot of it's conscience. A lot of it's, where does your conscience say, or what does your conscience say about that? But I also think that if you believe that drinking alcohol is a sin, biblically, it does seem like there is a right to drink alcohol. And so I think that you shouldn't lord that over other people. You know, if they're of the age to drink alcohol, then I don't think that it's right for you to say, well, I think it's wrong, and so you shouldn't do that. You know, because that's your opinion. That's subjective. And I'm out of my cigar smoke. Still figuring these bad boys out. It's kind of like cigars. You know, some people might swear by cigars being a bad thing to do. You know, cigarettes might be something different. With cigarettes, you're looking at something that has been proven to kill people. I heard a number that was like 700,000 people die yearly because of cigarettes. And yeah, that seems a little extreme. You know, it seems like, okay, clearly this has a severe physical impact on people. A lot of it's because they're inhaling those chemicals. With a cigar, what you're doing is, if you're doing it right, you're not inhaling it. You're allowing the smoke to fill up in your mouth, and you're blowing it out of your mouth. There shouldn't be any type of inhaling going on there. Popular pastor from the 1800s, Charles Spurgeon, he actually did smoke cigars, and he found it to be quite an enjoyable experience. He didn't find it to be something that he couldn't do biblically, and I think that's a matter of conscience. You know, and conscience is a really interesting conversation biblically, because when you look at the Bible, not everything is so like, this is right, this is wrong. You know, a lot of times you might look at the Bible and, you know, obviously there is those things in the Bible that say this is right, this is wrong. 10 Commandments, clearly we can't commit adultery, we can't murder, we're not supposed to have idols, you know, not supposed to steal, not supposed to lie. But there's no commandment that says thou shalt not drink or thou shalt not smoke a cigar. And so, you know, and I haven't found a lot of people that say, you know, objectively to people, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. But I think that it's kind of a good idea to, if you're not fully set on what the Bible says about a certain subject, not to just go touting to people, hey, you're not supposed to do this. Now, if you have kids and you're a parent and you don't want to see your kids drink, or you don't want to see your kids smoke a cigar, then maybe gently reassuring them and just having them not, like, just telling them the effects of alcohol on some people, but also showing them biblically what the Bible says about the extremes, like being drunk or losing control. That's why I think drugs are something that's clear biblically, especially drugs that make you lose control. I wouldn't say that all drugs, like there's some pharmaceutical drugs that I could see a case for being fine, but like, marijuana, for example. I have a hard time looking at marijuana biblically, and I think it seems clear that if it makes you lose self-control, which it does, you do lose control of yourself. Maybe not fully, but I think it's similar to being drunk. Then that seems like something that maybe isn't the best to be around, and maybe not the best to do. And I know that's probably a controversial take for people who love their weed. I know quite a few people who love marijuana far more than anybody who loves alcohol. I have a couple friends who like to drink, but mostly it's that weed that people really like. And I can't say that I'm a fan of it. Our culture is just, it's obsessed with drugs. It's obsessed with finding a way out. Like they want to escape their lives. Maybe they don't like their lives, or maybe they just found that it was a pleasurable experience and they're hooked. But a lot of those drugs are very debilitating and will ruin your life. And if you're struggling with drug addiction, I know people who have been addicted to methamphetamines. If you're struggling with that, I would really encourage you to seek God on that matter. Really, if it's something that is, obviously if you're addicted to it, but there's some people who are just set on doing those drugs. But if you're someone who's trying to escape the clutches of addiction, seek God. I've found that when you're trying to break habits that are harmful to your health, I found it with pornography, it's very hard to just quit it. It's impossible to quit it by yourself. There are some people who can escape the effects to some degree, but you can tell that they still miss that experience. I'm not gonna say everyone. I'm sure there's former drug addicts who were addicted and were able to escape the clutches, and maybe they don't desire it anymore. But I know a lot of people still miss their drug addictions, and the only reason they quit was maybe because they knew it would destroy their lives. And that's kind of what it takes for human beings, it seems like, and sometimes that doesn't even convince them, but a lot of people, like, if they see it destroys their life, well, then maybe they'll stop, but they still want to do that. But, finding God on that matter is, I believe that if you're addicted to drugs, if you're addicted to some of those hard substances like cocaine, meth, Adderall, Oxycontin, whatever, seeking God on that matter, He can give you deliverance from that. That's a real fact, I believe, and maybe you're going to have sometimes those times where you want to do it, but I believe that God can bring you, I believe God can do anything in your life. It's just a matter of seeking Him out, and of course, if it is His will to do that. For me, I'll get personal with you. Pornography addiction, when I became a Christian, it still took a lot of time to really escape that. And I feel fine being open about it because it's so common, but also because, God has given me deliverance from it. And God can give you deliverance. So, I think that obviously being in the Word and praying and trying to figure out where you stand with alcohol and nicotine substances is very important. But if you're in some of those hard substances, or if you're in alcoholism, if you're a drunk, seeking God on that matter, that you'll find deliverance there. I believe that fully. If you truly seek after freedom from that, and you seek after God, I believe He will grant it to you. I really do. And so I just encourage anyone who is experiencing addiction, or if they're questioning whether to drink alcohol, you know, a little bit of alcohol in moderation, I see as no problem. And that's really the key, is moderation. And, you know, I'm preaching to the choir here, you know, myself. Sometimes I have a hard time moderating things, and so I'm thankful that I don't love alcohol. I'm thankful that I don't really enjoy alcohol that much. And, you know, I pray that that would never be a problem for me. But in any matter of life where you're addicted to something, or, you know, we all struggle in sin, finding God in that is the most key, important, crucial thing to do. Nothing else will bring you freedom like Jesus Christ. And so hopefully that's an informative take. I don't know, maybe not. Let me know in the comments what you all think. I like reading the comments when people do actually take time out of their day to tell me what they think and where they're at. And you know, I'd love to be able to point you to chapters in the Bible that seem to help, you know, that help me. There's so many. It's just amazing. Like, the Bible has help for everything in your life. I was thinking about this today with, like, leaders even. You know, if a leader wanted to go in the Bible and find good counsel, he could. Because the Bible talks about David. You know, David was the leader. He was the president of Israel, so to say. And there was advice and counsel for, you know, a leader, a good leader, and what that takes, and how that, and even if you're not going to become president, but maybe you're going to become a dad, or maybe you're going to become a mayor, you know, or I don't know, something in your job where you take a lead. Jesus has left us a wonderful book in the Bible, and I would just suggest that every day go to it and just seek counsel from it. Anyways, guys, once again, it's out. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.